Welcome back to the Boredwalk Podcast. I am here this week with Josh from the content team. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm trying to make this switch from morning coffee to morning tea.
Ooh.
And it's really hard. Harder than I expected.
Yeah, I've never been a huge tea person in general unless I'm sick. Like at nighttime, I drink like the sleepy time tea or like throat coat or something. But I've never really just drink tea as an alternative for waking up.
It's good, and it does have caffeine in it, but it doesn't have quite the same like aggressive jolt that coffee has, which is kind of why I'm trying to switch. But at the same time, like I kind of like the aggressive jolt. So.
Yeah, I also like enjoy the taste of coffee. Tea, if I drink tea, I usually will add honey or milk or something to it. But coffee, I just drink black coffee all day, and I enjoy that taste too. Like people who drink decaf coffee, at first, like, why would you ever do that? But now I'm like, okay, I get it. I just like the taste of coffee too. So if it is like late at night, then I could see that.
Tea's caffeinated, so like every time I have the tea, I'm like, this is nice. And I'm sure the tea is in my pantry just going like, what does coffee have that I don't have? Like, I'm warm, I'm caffeinated.
And it's probably better for your teeth too. Probably doesn't stain them as bad, but I know it stains my teeth, but I can't stop.
The coffee's just like, want to get fucked up? And I'm like, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day, every morning. I can't start my morning unless I'm fucked up on caffeine.
Yeah, like definitely like the coffee is worse for me, but I just can't seem to break it.
Yeah, it's part of my morning routine. If I don't have it, I'd probably even be fine even without the caffeine, but I just like the lack of sensation of drinking the hot coffee. It's like, well, now my morning's ruined.
I do have some really good tea in my house right now that I enjoy, and every time I drink it, I'm like, this is nice, but why do I keep going back to the thing that's bad for me? I don't know.
One time I was working on a job, this was pretty recently, and I had to be there like crazy early, like 5:30 in the morning, and I was like picking up coffee for like everybody. And there was a guy who was at the Starbucks that I was at that opened at 5:30, and he was ordering coffee decaf at 5:30 in the morning. I was like, what? Why are you up this early? And why are you drinking decaf?
What a creep.
It made no sense. I was baffled. I couldn't stop thinking about it all day long. I was like, what a weird order at a weird time.
I also went down this rabbit hole, this sort of convoluted how I got there. We keep getting, we get all these comments on Instagram. Well, I don't know, probably other platforms. I manage Instagram. Where people are like, you capitalists are earning money for your products. And yeah, it's our job. We have bills to pay.
Kind of how any business works in this country.
But I was like, I think what they want is like some sort of commune situation where there's like no currency and you're just like all like chipping in with like, tilling fields or whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't really want to live in a commune. But I was like, there have to be communes. Like, I know there are in the world.
Sure.
But I'm like, there have to be some in the U.S. too, I imagine.
Maybe.
Like, obviously some people want this lifestyle, and if they do, they should definitely go do it.
I'm sure there's areas in maybe like middle America, just like out in some ranch land. And
so there are. And there's YouTube documentaries about them, and they are nuts. Oh. So if you're looking to go down a rabbit hole, I highly recommend checking out some of these commune documentaries on YouTube.
Are they thriving at least? Are they like succeeding in their way of life?
These people seem content with their choices, and I love that for them. It's not for me.
Yeah.
One of them was explaining how they don't have any private ownership of anything, even like down to their clothing. So they just have a clothing library where you just like go in and take whatever clothes are your size from the clothing library. I don't know if that extends to underwear, which is a gross thought.
Yeah, that's extreme. I didn't realize it went down all the way down to that level of sharing.
Yeah, but I'm like, I don't really want to live that way. That doesn't appeal to me.
That's a bit much.
Like we can have some like socialist policies, but still have like my own clothes, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We don't have to go that extreme, but we could have some kind of compromise where, I can, get dressed every day in my own clothes.
Also, like, housing, obviously, they share. So, like, they're like, you don't need a kitchen in your house all the time because you don't use it all the time. So, if you live with, like, 10 people, then, like, you can all take turns using the kitchen. I'm like, yeah, you could, but I don't want to do that.
I still like having my own space. I saw a while ago there was, like, some kind of, like, it was a library for, like, household objects that you don't need every single day. And I was like, I thought that was pretty smart. Like, some random like kitchen appliance that like you use for like a certain dish you make, but you don't need it taking up storage space all the time. Or like a lot of power tools.
Sure.
If you have like a project, you just go like rent a drill for the day or borrow it from this library of stuff and then you bring it back. Like that's cool. But like if it's something you want to own, you should still be able to do that.
Yeah, like I can understand the argument for sharing a chainsaw. That's not something I would use much of. But like my clothes or like who knows what else? Your toothbrush?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Toothbrush.
Like, I don't want to share that many things with strangers.
Yeah.
Or I guess they're not strangers. They all know each other because they are sharing the commune. But still, like,
true. Yeah, you're forced to get to know each other. But like, do they seem like mentally okay, or is it like culty?
I don't know. I mean, they seem like communists. Like, I'm not anti people being communists. That's the thing. Like, if that's how you want to live, I think you should go do it. I just don't want you bugging me about it.
Yeah. You live your lifestyle. We'll live the one that we have to with the way our system is set up. And
yeah. Oh, the other thing that was funny to me is they're like, we figured out we've beat this oppressive capitalist system. But what they've done is like, they basically eliminated the concept of like class disparity, I guess, which is fine. Like, I'm not criticizing their choices. I'm just saying it's not radically different in ways that appeal to me than like what I already have. They're like, we have to work 42 hours a week. I'm like, okay, so basically similar to what we currently do.
yeah.
And they're like, but you get credit for things like laundry or dishes. And I'm like, I mean,
Okay.
I guess that's nice, but like, you're still working like a job. You just don't have private ownership.
They have an interesting idea, but it's still what that execution of it is not how I would want to live. That sounds.
I don't know there's a way that you could set up like a commune existence that would be like drastically better than like what we currently have going on, unless that's something that super appeals to you, in which case go for it.
Yeah, but that lifestyle, not appealing to me.
It's not for me.
Not for me. But hey, if it's for them, great.
I did think it was funny though, like how much of that commentary we get. And then yesterday, usually when I go, I'm like, I have a personal Instagram account. Don't get excited. It's not worth following. I literally never post to it.
Drop the ad.
Yeah, like no, there's nothing to see. Legitimately, there's 0 posts. I use it just for like looking at things that are supposed to make me happy, like animals and sandwiches and
Sure. Animals on sandwiches.
No, but like like fun stuff, like someone painting their walls a fun color. I don't know, stuff that's like not gonna upset me. But yesterday, for some reason, it was just like, what you really want is all this political news. And I'm like, not really, but fine. And they're like, Idaho lawmakers don't want 6th through 12th grade girls to have tampons, and they also don't want them to have library cards. Like, these were legitimately things it was like telling me about.
Oh my god.
And they were like, and Tennessee doesn't want men to be able to wear dresses in public. I'm like, good grief. And so I'm like, these seem like real problems.
Yeah.
And people bothering us about like paying ourselves and our employees don't.
I don't understand how they've all decided that we are the face of capitalism, as if we invented it and we're enforcing it on anybody else. Like this, we're in a capitalist society and we have to follow those rules in order to have a business. I don't understand how.
I just see so many things that are.
What are their jobs? What are they doing that's somehow not capitalist?
I don't know. What bothers me is just that, like, this is the thing people have chosen to spend their time on when there's, like, actual threats to progressive values in the world.
It's very strange. Like, are they just going around to every single business, McDonald's, anything, and they're just like, hey, where are your profits going? It's like, what?
I guarantee you they're not. And I think part of the problem is, like, they don't consider us artists, I guess, because of the medium that we sell on. So,
right,
like,
yeah, if they have the same designs on just, like, canvases.
In a gallery where, like, 5 people can see it, then it's fine.
Then they'd be like, oh, no, this is fine. We don't care what you do with your profits. Fine.
Yeah, but they're not harassing, like, Banksy for selling political art. They're not, like, making a stink about, like, Taylor Swift making political music and probably going to be a billionaire by the end of the year from doing stuff like that.
Or the people that they should be upset about, people like, like Starbucks, where like, the CEO is a multi-billionaire and everyone gets minimum wage and all this kind of stuff.
Sure.
And it's just like, what? That's where like the disparage is. Like, why aren't you upset with these people, like these big corporations and the banks who keep getting all these government loans, but yet people can't get a stimulus? And it's like, we're a very small business. I don't know why you think we are the same as these big CEOs.
I don't know. I just think there's like such a lack of critical thinking going on from these people leaving these kinds of comments at us. I'm like, can't you go care about what's going on in like Idaho or Tennessee or something? Those seem like bigger problems.
Can you go get upset at a real issue instead of making up issues to get upset with that make no sense?
Speaking of people upset at issues, like, do you have a review over there? I know Tess was trying to find like a 1-star review, and she was
trying to find a 1-star review. Unfortunately, she could not. Unfortunately, our products are just too good.
We do get them every once in a blue moon, but we don't get a lot of them, so you have to really hunt.
So shut the dig. So we have a 5-star review. This week. It says, never disappoints. And this is from Nicole B., who says, every single shirt I have purchased is priceless, head-turning, and provocative. Equals great for strutting around in public or at your problematic family functions. #therapy. Well, good. It's a good way to vocalize your opinion on things and start up those conversations with people you see once every few years and get grandpa upset about something.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I like that for her.
Yeah, good. 5 stars. And it sounds like she likes to buy lots of the shirts, so that's good.
We also have it's Delve Deck here. New segment we're going to do on the podcast is we're going to start answering some of our questions from our Delve Deck, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have a brand new product, a Delve Deck full of a whole bunch of cards. They range the lighter cards are lighter questions, little softball questions, little conversation starters, and then the darker it goes, the deeper the conversation pieces get, more thought-provoking. And so, yeah, it's kind of a great way to just kind of break the ice. You can do it with people you don't really know that well, or some of your longtime friends, and kind of get to know their real thoughts on things you might not have ever thought to even have discussed before. So, yeah, we're going to be pulling some cards from this on the podcast today and getting some honest answers.
All right.
You want to do that now?
Sure.
All right. Do you want to do a lighter question or a heavier question?
You know what? Surprise me.
All right. What's something that is legal that you couldn't be paid enough to do?
Probably literally thousands of things, but the quickest answer that comes to mind is I could not work in healthcare.
Ooh, yeah, that would be tough. Because of all the sick and dying people, or because of all the medical school?
So many reasons. Like, I'm squeamish about blood and guts and easily grossed out. I don't like people touching me. I don't like touching people. Like, there's a long list of things that would keep me from that job. People dying would probably be lower on the list of things that I find distressing. But no, I don't like talking to people. I'm just not much of a people person in the first place, which I think is a requisite for that kind of work.
Yeah, bedside manner is, I think, a big part of it.
Yeah, that is something if it paid $1 billion, I would still not take that job or do that work.
Well, I guess, yeah, now you got me thinking, like, career-wise. I would not want to be a cop.
Oh, no, I wouldn't.
I don't care what they would pay. I would not want to be a police officer, and that's legal, and a lot of parts of being a cop should not be legal.
No.
But yeah, I guess that would be my answer. Feel free to let us know in the comments of this YouTube video what your answers are to these questions as well.
Yeah, that one technically doesn't have to be a job. I think Grace the other day said her answer was hooking up with Trump.
Oh, yeah. Technically legal, unless you use campaign funds to do it, and then it's no longer legal. Yeah, that would be a good one. What genre of music have you never been able to get into? I still can't really get into country music, and I'm from the South, but that was just never my bag, and I just find most of the songs to be like annoying and like grating and complaining about stuff that doesn't apply to me, and it's hard for me to like identify and relate to a lot of country songs. I don't have a pickup truck. I don't go fishing. I don't have X's in states that rhyme. But yeah, so I've just never been a big fan of country music.
There's a few, but I'll go with opera.
Oh, yeah. I can't really imagine just like listening to opera in the car. Maybe if I went to go see a show, then like, okay, at least like the performance of it, like the theatrics, like, oh, maybe it gets a little extra respect and appreciation. But yeah, just listening to it like on Spotify, that doesn't sound enjoyable.
I know people do, but it's not for me.
I'm going to jump to a harder hitting one.
All right.
What is your worst habit?
I probably have a lot of answers for that one too.
I can be pretty bad about procrastinating. I kind of put stuff off until the last possible minute, and I'm trying to get better about that. So that usually ends up being one of my New Year's resolutions every year is to not procrastinate as much. But I also recently learned it's a sign of intelligence, because apparently, like, if you're smart and you like grew up going to school knowing that you didn't really have to study for tests until maybe the last minute, like look over some notes or whatever, and you like got that ingrained in you as like, oh, I can do things at the last second and succeed, then you kind of have taught yourself that like, oh, I can just do that. I don't need all this extra prep time, but it would be nice to get things taken care of right away, and then you have that time where it's not like on your mind in the back of your head like, oh, I got to do this thing. It's like, but yeah, I'm pretty bad about procrastinating.
I'm the opposite with procrastinating. I will get things, if it's something I don't want to do, I'm more likely to get it done early just to not have it hanging over my head as something I have to get done. One of my friends who also runs a company, he calls doing things you don't want to do eating a frog.
Oh.
He's like, if you have to eat a frog, do it first thing in the morning, get it out of the way.
Interesting. I'm going to go eat this frog. File for divorce or whatever you have going on that day.
And it's just his metaphor that he likes, but I'm like, it's a funny one, and yeah, like if I have to do something I don't want to do, I try to get it done as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's smart. I should do that. I put off anything, whether it's not even if it's something I'm dreading. It's just like, oh, the dishes or whatever. I'm just like, I'll do that later, and then it's like, oh, now there's so much to do.
But then you've got it looming over you.
I know. So that's why I need to stop. That's why it is probably my worst habit. What ingredients always ruin a dish?
Those sprouts, not Brussels sprouts. The
leafy ones.
No, the hairy ones.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of their name. There's like they're a specific kind of sprout.
Do they have like a strong taste? You don't like the texture? There's like that weird, feel like eating hair?
All of it. It does feel like eating hair. I don't like them. And I generally like pretty much all vegetables. Not that one.
I hate bananas. I hate the way they smell. I hate the way they taste. I hate the texture. I hate everything about bananas. If there's a banana in a smoothie, that's all I will taste. I just hate it. I know they're good for you, and I've tried on multiple occasions to like eat one every morning. and like I just gag. I just like I can't stomach them. I find them absolutely disgusting. It's like the one like deal breaker food is like if that's involved, banana bread, nope. Like nothing with bananas. That's not for me.
Interesting.
All right, we'll jump one more down closer to the deeper ones. What is something you no longer care about? I was thinking the other day how it is weird. Like I think some conversation was coming up about toys or something, and I remember like so many like childhood toys and like stuffed animals I had as a kid that, like I loved so much, and now it's like I just realized I have not thought about them in like 25 years. I have no idea where they are. They're probably in the dumpster somewhere, and like, but that's just weird. When did that switch happen? When did I just decide? Or when did I just suddenly forget about something that meant so much to me for like years of my life? It wasn't like an active thing. I wasn't just like I'm done playing with this toy. It was just like one day I didn't, and then I forgot. And so I guess, but it wasn't like an active thing that I stopped caring about. But it is weird to think of like something that used to be like carried around with me everywhere, and now it's like I don't even remember the name that I gave it, and which just seems bizarre.
Yeah, I mean I think that's pretty normal for an adult, but I don't know at what age that shift happens. Mm-hmm. It's so weird. I was not much of a toy kid when I was a kid. I had some, but I was really into reading, and so I was like more interested in books than toys as a little kid. But some of the books that I read as a kid, I can look back and be like, oh yeah, I understand why I was into that as a kid. I probably care less now about being in like really good shape. It's not that I don't care at all, but I care a lot less. I used to be one of those people that was like at the gym 3 hours a day and like, counting all my calories and like just obsessed. And I was like, this kind of makes me unhappy, and it's just not that important. Like I could just be like a little flabbier and be happier and be fine. Yeah.
Plus that gets so exhausting, counting calories and everything. It makes the whole experience of like being healthy like not fun. And if it's something you don't enjoy doing, it's something you're like forcing yourself to do, then like it's not something you can really maintain long time. It's like doing like a horrible diet where you don't like anything you're eating. You're not going to maintain that long term, and then you're just going to break the diet and then just completely seesaw right back. So it's like you just got to live life in a way that you are happy and can maintain, that's not killing you.
I mean, even when I was doing all that, I still felt like I looked terrible all the time. And I'm like, if I'm going to feel like I look terrible all the time, like, why am I even doing this? Like, I'm not even enjoying the results. I'm not, like, never satisfied. Like,
that's a lose-lose.
I should just give this up because it's never going to make me happy.
I hate everything I eat. I hate going to the gym. And I hate how I look. Why am I doing any of this?
Like, I was, like, smaller, but I still felt like I was, like, I still don't like how I look in the mirror. And I'm like, you know what? I might just never like how I look in the mirror, and I could just be at peace with that.
Yeah, and then now I can eat pizza. Yeah. And that's cool.
What do we have over on Question of the Day?
Our question of the day is, what minor inconvenience always really annoys you?
What do the fans
say? We've got an answer from Pumpkin Patch 1. Says, when you're venting in a text message and your swear words autocorrect to some other bullshit. Yeah,
that's a good one.
That sucks when it just takes the wind out of your sails when you're trying to make a point, and then, you come up sound like a goof. Hunter_Looney says, that waking up thing, major buzzkill. I can agree. And Dancer Cuckoo says, when clothes hangers get all tangled up on the closet rod and then all fall to the floor. That's annoying.
That is annoying.
Let's see. Minor inconvenience for me. I don't really like dealing with my cat's like kitty litter. I don't like scooping that. That's kind of you got to do it, and I think it's more inconvenient because of like my building, because like I have to go outside to like toss like the stuff in because I don't want to just put it in my kitchen trash because then it'll start smelling. But like my dumpster is like behind the apartment building, so I have to go outside to go like throw away the little bag of like litter stuff. And it's been raining so much this year in LA, and I'm just like, I don't want to go out in the rain to like get rid of this litter. And I don't normally have shoes and socks on in my apartment, so I got put that on. And so I don't want to go outside barefoot and walk all the way behind the building. So it's like if it was like inside, if I lived like in a building where it's like like a garbage chute like down the hall, like I cat sit for my friend sometimes, and his apartment was set up like that. So like that's fine. I can walk down there in my socks. It takes 2 seconds, but you don't have to deal with the weather at all. But to me, I was like, man, I don't want to deal with this.
I feel like there's apartment hunting in your future, Josh.
Yeah, I think so.
Because between your laundry situation and your trash situation.
Yeah, that's another inconvenience, is having to have quarters for my laundry because that's such a pain.
Josh's whole apartment is just nothing but inconveniences.
Yeah, I like the inside of my actual apartment unit. Everything else, I'm like, this could be better. And so I might be looking for a new place. I think my lease is up in, like a month. So I might just start browsing, see what's out there.
It is a pain in the ass to move here, though.
Yeah.
If you live around LA, it's a real nightmare.
Not fun. How about you? Is there a minor inconvenience that always really annoys you?
Probably so many. I mean, I am easily annoyed all the time. I should have a million answers.
Just always annoyed.
I would say having to, well, I just did this earlier, so here's an answer that's top of mind, is having to do any kind of like bureaucratic operational tasks at work. Like, for example, I've been filing our California sales tax, and it's like, it's not really that bad, but it's like just tedious enough that I'm just, and I should just fix this. I should just get someone else to do it, and I probably will soon. It's been on my to-do list, but like even that, I'm like, well, now I got to go find someone else to do it, which is another chore. But I'm like, every time I have to do it, I'm like, this is annoying, and I don't want to do it. And there's like a million little tasks like that just throughout like the week or month with being in my job that suck. Those kinds of things. Like if it's stuff like designing new products or like meeting with like our team, like those are like, that's fine. That's, you know,
business.
Part of my job. But the other stuff is too. I hate it.
Yeah. What is it? It's eating the frog?
It's eating the frog.
Yeah, I still need to do my personal taxes. I got a week left.
I do too, but I
4
got
days, actually.
sidetracked with doing corporate taxes because I have to do, I mean, I don't do them. We have a vendor that does, but I still have to like work with the vendor on it. And so I had to work on that. And after getting done with that, I was like, I need a break before I do my personal taxes.
Yeah, I got to do I got 4 days before it's due. Yeah, I think another reason I put it off too is I think like the very beginning of last year I had some like random little side gig jobs. I was like, I got to like do this stupid 1099 for like this place that I worked at for like a week. This one little job. It's like all these things I got to file for like this things like I haven't even thought about that in over a year.
They didn't send you one?
I think they probably did, but it's just the fact that I got to do it all, like for all these things that like aren't my like job now, and it's like I don't want to do all that.
Yeah, everything about like compliance with taxes and government things, I don't mind paying taxes and complying, but I wish they would make it way less annoying to do.
I know, and that's another thing because like another reason I've been putting off too is because like the big people like TurboTax and stuff, they lobby to keep taxes complicated so that people will use their service because they'll make it easier. Like the whole thing could just be easier. And so like now I want to like, I should do some research and find some like alternative way to file my taxes that isn't, you know, supporting the people that are making it more difficult for everyone. And I have not done that either. So I'm probably going to have to bite the bullet and do TurboTax or whatever for the millionth year in a row. But it's like, once I found out that I was like, wait, this could be way simpler and you're paying them to like keep it complicated. Like they know what we owe or what they owe us. Like, why can't you just tell us? Why do we have to like guess and get it, you know, and then if we get it wrong, like, nope, now you're penalized. Like, you know what we owe you.
Yeah, I hate it so much. We recently had to do a tax form that we filled out wrong in the government's favor, of course, because of them. That we asked them, like, what do we include in this? And they gave us the wrong information, which caused us to pay taxes on things we don't currently own and have not owned for years. Like, it was like a property tax form. And they were like, list every piece of machinery you ever purchased. And I'm like, ever purchased?
Yeah, what do you ever?
And then they're like, this is all, you have to pay tax on this. I'm like, even if I don't own it anymore? And they're like, well, no, but since you listed it, now you have to pay us a bunch of money to get it taken off. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Okay, you could have just told me that I don't need to list things that we don't currently own because we did ask.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I feel like the whole system is just rigged to make it way complicated for everyone, for all the normal people, and then just so that they can penalize you for messing it up. It's like, just make it simple.
The whole thing is so bad, and as much as I do love living in California, it is one of the most annoying states to deal with the bureaucracy in.
Oh, yeah. I'm not looking forward to doing my taxes, but I gotta eat that frog.
Eat the frog.
Do that this week. Well, I have to, or otherwise I'll be in big trouble.
You can technically file an extension, but who wants to do that? Then you'll just have it looming.
Exactly. I cannot procrastinate anymore.
Wrapping up, the only other bit of news is our advance copies for our 1990s themed activity book are apparently arriving tomorrow. Matt just told me. So that's exciting. Yeah,
I'm excited to check those out, and then we'll start making videos for those too.
How well do you remember the 90s?
Pretty well. I mean, that was my formative childhood years. So if it's pop culture related stuff, then 90s was, that was when I was growing up. So I remember that pretty well.
All right.
So I'm excited to check this out.
I feel like you and Tess will be lapping Grace with this one because Grace is the youngest member of our content team, so she probably does not remember the 90s too well.
Yeah, I am older than Grace, and Tess is much older.
At least a few months, probably.
I'm kidding. I don't even know. I'm probably older than Tess. I have no idea. I just know Grace is much younger than us.
Yep. Well, we can quiz Grace with some of the stuff and see how good her guessing skills are.
Yeah. Guess this about the 90s.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone, for watching, listening. We'll be back next week. Have a good rest of your week.
Bye.
Bye.